your well-being is basically comfort for the body in a large way. We eat, sex, food, those are the body needs. And when we have an uncomfortable feeling, we want to get rid of it. When someone says, you're a jerk, oh God, and we feel that. And we want to get rid of that uncomfortable feeling. That's all identifying with the body. So body identification is probably the biggest stumbling block. And that manifests in many ways. But it's just, I am a body. And in my experience, there are times when through meditation, I can lose that body awareness, and it's a very wonderful state to be in. And then there's subtle attachments beyond that body, but most of us have a tough time just getting beyond body awareness for any length of time. An experience that you may be familiar with is when you fall in love. In that moment of joy, you lose body awareness. And because love is very antithesis to the ego. The ego wants, it doesn't love. Personalities want something that they don't love. But if we go beyond our sense of I, or that ego, even or move away from them a bit, we experience that as love. We experience that as peace. So I think in my mind, that's the biggest thing. It's like, I'm a body. That's my biggest trip up. Like, can this body, because I'm not really this body. I can't control it. It ages on its own. I wish it didn't. It would get sick, and I wish it didn't. I have very little control over this body. So it means that it's not really mine. I didn't make it. I can't grow it. I mean, I can feed it, but that's about it. I have very little say-so on this body. So if I have very little say-so on it, that's an indication that it's not really mine. I don't know. That's an esoteric question, and I don't know if I'm answering it well.
About 13 minutes left.
Okay, thanks, Rob. Anybody else? I hear that. I didn't hear that.
What have your experiences been with other people in the Hindu tradition as far as like worship, prayer, meditation, like where you guys come together, how you congregate?
Yeah, I personally find, I have a lot of friends who are Westerners who are more Hindu tradition, so that I consider those my community. I will say the local temple here, I never quite connected with or plugged into. But there's a temple in Southern California that I go to once a year, once every couple of years, and I stay there for a few days. And it's run by two swamis. It's a very small temple. It's about, the two swamis are Westerners, and it's about 50% Indian, 50% non-Indian Hindus. And that community really connects with me. When I was involved with my teacher, we used to get together and meditate together and chant and all that together. Right now, I don't really have that in the St. Louis area. So, yeah, so, working on it. These are not the questions I was expecting, but these are great questions, yes.
So do you worship like any Hindu gods?
Yeah. And for me personally, in Hinduism, they say there's 33 million gods in Hinduism. Well, there's only one God with a lot of different forms. And I look at that number of 33 million different gods as, that just means we're all forms of God. And can we identify that divinity in ourselves and each other? But for me personally, I'm more of I visualize or conceive of God more as the Divine Mother, and that works for me. And that's another thing I like about Hinduism, you get to pick what form works for you, what you connect with. So yeah, that's how I conceive of God more as the Divine Mother.
Are there any theological issues in Hinduism that you kind of had problems with, like